These are principalities. These are vibrations. This is a vibrational war. Your subconscious is a deeper level or more. I mean, that's your vibration right there. That's the vibration that you're not conscious of, is your subconscious. It's your vibration. If they have that, they got everything. I don't care what you think you look like in the mirror. That's why it's called programming. I mean, that's what they give you. It's nothing but images and sound and vibration. You can research this right to that point in topic, coming right off of our out of our House of Delegates. This is I guess a meeting that was taking place with the Virginia House of Delegates, and we have Henry Berry. And when you look up Henry Berry, he's one of the speakers of the House, and I'll just read this particular portion right here to you. It says, members of the House of Delegates argue that having free blacks in the state would encourage slaves to revolt. Thus, all free black people should be removed from the state and sent to Africa. I actually started at a point a little before the point I was going to make, but I didn't even mean to make that point. That's just the Most High working right there. Because I was going to make a completely different thing, and I'm still going right into it because that's 2 sentences away. But I started at a point. Look up this speech by House of Delegate member Henry Berry. Okay. It breaks it pretty much down. You know what I'm saying? How they view and what they've done and what this energy, this vibration has accomplished and how they've done it. When the brother says they took the light from your eyes, and when I'm telling you was already here, and they brought a lot of us to Africa, they brought a lot of us to Europe. This was like a big melting pot, and because they were people and brothers and sisters that we would call brothers, you know what I'm saying, that were buying us and selling us. Mm-hmm. You had so-called black tribes that were major in this Hebrew market, man, because they knew that our source had been disconnected. They knew that we had abandoned ourselves. It ain't like it just got disconnected. We abandoned our own source when we abandoned the Most High's law, statutes, commandments. We abandoned our energy. We abandoned the entire vibration that protected us, that kept us, you know what I'm saying? And as his children, he said, hey, okay, I'm going to, just like you serve other gods and made me jealous, I'm going to make you jealous by raising up every nation against you. And you're going to have to watch them ball out. You're going to have to watch Egypt ball with all their splendor. You're going to have to watch everybody, and you're just going to be kicked around, and you're going to learn this, and you're going to be jealous of everybody when you are really the center of everything. And this is coming out the House of Delegates, Henry Berry. I'll read it again. It says, the legislature debated the idea of ending slavery in Virginia altogether. Members of the House of Delegates argued that having free blacks in the state would encourage slaves to revolt. Who are the free blacks that were already in the state, in Virginia, in the Americas? Who were the free blacks? Could it not been the native aboriginal blacks that were already there? Were they not the free blacks? Were they not the ones that were brought over as slaves, but the ones they found, the copper color races from the 1828 Webster Dictionary? Could those be the free blacks? You can't enslave the people on their own land, right? So you got to start sending the, whatever you want to call the ruling families of our tribes. They sent the ruling families away. We are descendants. So they didn't send everybody, all of us out. They just sent certain targeted families, whoever, they targeted them and sent them away. Mm-hmm. So he's saying right here, the members of the House of Delegates argued that having free blacks in the state would encourage slaves to revolt. Thus, all free black people should be removed from the state and sent to Africa. Some argue that their own wealth and the wealth of the state was tied to slavery, but others countered that it was simply too dangerous to keep slaves in their midst. Henry Berry himself, a slave owner, argued that there could be no rest until all the slaves were free. Right? Why did he want them to be free? He was afraid of something. He knew it was only so long you can keep them in that condition. So he said that the legislature, he said, had already done all it could to keep slaves submissive, but it was not working. Sir, he argued, we have, as far as possible, closed every avenue by which light might enter their minds. Didn't the brother just say they shut your eyes and they cut your light? Didn't the brother just say they took the light out your eyes as a nation of people? Now you're hearing it from the House of Delegates, from Henry Berry, talking about sending the aboriginals, the copper-colored races, talking about sending them to Africa just to go blend in over there, and then we'll blend them in over here, and then we'll take them from Europe. It was like, you ever see the what they call the card game, where I'm gonna put the ball under the cup, and it's 3 cups, and you keep switching the cup with the ball around and around and around. Where's the ball? Which cup is the ball going into? So you got melanated people ruling Europe. Septimus Severus, all out of 193 AD, 14, over 1,000 years of black rulership, right? Quote unquote. So you got that happening in Europe for over 1,000 years, all the way up to the 1400s. We still there in massive amounts in the 1600s. Then you got the 1400s going on over here with this, transatlantic, slave trade. So, what I'm saying? Then you got the dumb diverses being signed by, by the Pope in 1452, saying, hey, yeah, treat them as slaves, treat them as savages, take everything. The Pope signed that off because they had to go to the king of the kingdom, and that's where you go. He signed that off. They treated us on our own land as savages while melanated people were ruling in Europe. And they were later enslaved and sent where? To the Americas. So you got the blacks, the melanated folks speaking whatever you want to call the King's English, whatever you want to call that, all the way up to the King James, all the way up, speaking perfectly good. They're not coming off some savages of naked people from Africa. These people are high aristocrats being now put in slavery, sent from Europe to America. And the original Aboriginal Americans being shipped out to the islands, melanated islands, all the way up the Caribbean, all the way up Australia, all the way up to Europe, and to Africa. Do you see how it's now going? It's a switcheroo. They took the ruling melanated people from Europe and they shipped them out because you can't enslave them if they know who they are. So you got to put them on a strange land in order to do it, in order to erase them properly. And you got to take these ruling families, whoever's in rulership, whatever's happening, ship them over here. A lot of us could either be straight from Europe, we could have been straight from wherever. They just switched it all around. A lot of us came, we were already on islands, and they sent us then here, and then it's all kinds of stuff went down. So he's saying right here, Henry Berry, the legislature, he said, had already done all it could to keep slaves submissive, but it was not working. Sir, he argued, we have, as far as possible, closed every avenue by which light might enter their minds. We have only to go one step further to extinguish their capacity to see the light, and our work will be completed. So he said that we have closed every avenue by which light might enter their minds, but now we got to go one step further to extinguish even the capacity to see the light. So we took it out their minds, and now we got to make sure they can't ever get it back.